it's working very well for me. So, but it does mean that other people who have hearing aids can also tune in to the same devices. Okay, long-term plan. Who's leading that? Jeanette.
So just through you, Your Worship, this morning we are going to start with the revaluation process before we get into LTP. We have a exciting day ahead, don't we? So we're going to talk about the rates revaluation process first. So over to Jeanette.
Good morning, Your Worship and councillors. First of all, I'd like to introduce Kath Green, who is our rating manager. Kath's been with us for 18 months. Gosh, it's gone so fast. She's been very involved in this process and is here just to give me a hand if I don't say the right thing or get something wrong. So today we're talking about the property revaluation. So we do a property revaluation every 3 years. It's carried out under the Rating Valuations Act 1998 and the Rating Valuation Rules, which were effective from 1st of October 2011. Opdian New Zealand has a contractual arrangement with us to supply and maintain the rating valuations on our behalf and to perform the 3-yearly revaluation of about 25,500 rating units in our district. Once the valuation's been completed, the Valuer General and his team review the valuation and the supporting basis documents, and they did that on the week of the 23rd of March, and we received a green light, which is pretty good. There's different stages that the Valuer General, when they review, and the green light is the highest that you can get. It doesn't mean that it's perfect. There's still some corrections to be done, but they're minor in nature, and we have had about a week with the valuers to correct those minor corrections. And our valuation was approved by the Valuer General on the 7th of April. So the rating valuation is a large piece of work, and Kath actually started working on this about June, July last year, starting with the planning. And it just doesn't involve the valuers and the rating department. It involves our building and resource consenting teams, our GIS team, the rates and finance team, the property team, the policy team, and communications. So we had regular catch-ups with Opdian. We had planning meetings, and then we had fortnightly and weekly catch-ups just to make sure everything was on track and also to manage any risks. And we also did a lot of work keeping our rating database up to date so that they were they valued everything that was in the database. Opdian had a team of 9 valuers doing this work, and they had another 2 performing quality assurance checks. And they did a whole range of work. They visited our district and did roadside viewings of properties. They spoke to district real estate agents, property developers. They spoke to 2 local registered valuers, and they spoke to specialist valuers for forestry and pastoral. They touched base with Waikato Regional Council for consents and nitrogen information. They reviewed our district plan and any recent changes. They spoke to our in-house teams on various matters. They looked at sales data, economic and other statistical data, and they even reviewed our own buildings, land and building valuation that we did at the end of last financial year, just to check for consistency that that things were in line with both valuations. And at the end of that, we got a 500-page basis document. It was split into 3 for residential, commercial, and rural. So I haven't read the whole document, I must say, but it's a pretty meaty document. So that's the process, to give you some comfort around the amount of work that was done. In terms of the that's sort of summarised on the screen there, in the first 2 points, the neutral rating tool. So revaluation doesn't change the total amount of rates that we collect. It's the tool that updates the property values and then basically helps us work out each person's share of the general rate. Now, in Taupo, we have a capital value rating system. We've had one for quite some time now, and there's 3 steps to that rating system. The first step is to work out how much we need to fund our services, and we do that through the annual plan and the long-term plan processes, which you are getting quite familiar with. The second step is some of the rates that we charge are specific, so targeted water rates, targeted wastewater rates. Those are generally based on number of connections at a property, and they're not based on capital value. And step 3 is using the money that we collect from the general rate to fund services that benefits the whole community, like roads, parks, community facilities, and so forth. So the cost is shared across the district in proportion to a property's capital value compared with the total value of all the properties.
Can I just ask a question? What's the other option for rates? So you said we're using a capital...
Land value. We were land value back in about 2011, I think, was when we changed.
The difference is?
So the capital value is the land and the improvements on the land, whereas the land value is just the land.
Okay, thank you.
So this is the breakdown of how the property values have changed. As you can see there, the majority have moved downwards, with the exception of industrial and commercial and utilities. So our overall change across the district was a decrease of 7.1%. I will hand out, I've got a copy here of the brochure that we're sending out to ratepayers. It's got this information, that particular information on it.
Can I just check, are we going to have access to the presentation? Because there's some cool explanations on this.
I'm sure that would be fine.
Thank you.
And just to be clear, mining is on there. We do not have mines, we have quarries, but it's the property category that is in the system. So we've got about 5 pieces of land that are involved with quarries in the district.
Duncan, you have a question?
Isn't Contact Energy issued a mining licence to extract geothermal?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
They may do, but they come under the electricity, the industrial area of the valuation, because most of their assets are above ground.
The one that's gone up 26.8%? Yeah.
They have a mining licence, so it's just interesting, the clarification, because it's a resource that they're mining in our district.
Yeah.
Duncan, you have a question?
Oh yeah, just a question of mine. Okay, so capital value, so all these different activities have gone up or down, okay, but just I had it in my mind that, for example, councillors can lever it so that commercial owners could be paying a greater proportion of income. For example, we could decide that we want businesses to pay more, a greater proportion of rates, and not just proportional to their capital value. So there are levers for doing that, though, aren't they? And it's not just. Can you answer that, please?
So we have a differential of 1.8 for commercial and industrial.
Yeah, right.
ratepayers.
Yes, so that's right. So we if we wanted to, we would have the option for changing that differential, and that's only commercial and industrial. That doesn't affect what pastoral or horticultural or forestry.
Can I perhaps jump in here? Firstly, acknowledge that you're doing an awesome presentation, Jeanette, and you're doing wonderful working through it, so apologies for jumping in. But, Councillor, when you look at what you're raising, those are things that you would be looking at in your rating review and when you're setting your rating policies or your revenue and financing policy through your LTP. Those changes have to go through public consultation. So it's not like you can see this information today and make changes. You have a policy that you have to apply. But we will go through that process when we're doing the long-term plan.
Oh no, I appreciate that. I get. Like, I think I understand that we're not in a decision time or about to change it all. But just to clarify, when you say there's a 1.8 differential for commercial and industrial, does that mean everything else on that board is lumped in together with the residential? That's a question.
So just to go back to my earlier slide, it's only the general rate that we apportion based on property values. So commercial properties have a 1.8 differential on the general rate. They also receive targeted rates, and due to the nature of some of their businesses, their targeted rates are often quite different to what a resident would pay, or any of those other ones. So commercial industrial will have a differential of 1.8, everyone else has a differential of 1.
Oh, so pastoral farmland are stuck on 1.
Yes.
Okay, that's it. Okay.
Okay, moving right along. We've just focused on the residential because that is the majority of our ratepayers, obviously, and these are the movements around the various townships and settlements in the district. So you can see that there's quite a range of movement depending on the area. Continue. And then just how it affects people's rates, we go back to the pie. So basically we work out how much rates we need from the district as a whole, and we then allocate that based on a person's share of the property valuations of the district. So it's how the revaluation affects how it's shared among properties, not how much we collect. The amount we collect doesn't change. So what a revaluation does is it can affect the size of the slice that a property receives of the general rate. And we use the pie to try and help people to understand that and avoid misconceptions about, if the reval goes up, that means council's getting more money. That's not what the situation is with that. We're getting the same amount that we've planned for. So we've just got a simple 2-house example, and again, this is in the brochure that is going out to ratepayers. So before a revaluation, you've got 2 houses, maybe side by side, they're each worth $500,000 each, and so they get 50% each of the share of the general rate. Once we have a revaluation process, house 1 is now worth $450,000, house 2 now has a value of $550,000, so their proportion has changed. One's now 45, one's now 55, so that's the portion of the general rate that they get. So the pie hasn't changed, the size of the pie hasn't changed, it's just their portion of the pie. This doesn't include targeted rates, it's just the general rate. Any questions?
So,
This isn't laughing at you, this is just trying to comprehend the information. It's
I know.
it's quite a lot to...
Sorry, yeah, it's me. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just like, what the hell? But it's all right. I'm gonna do my own work. I'm gonna do my own work after this.
Yeah.
This
Nicola.
question may help. Am I right in thinking that we're explaining all this because the most common question from residents might be, my valuation of my house has gone down, so why the hell am I paying more rates? And this is helping
Pretty
them
much.
explain that. Yeah. So
The two things are really separate.
yes, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hope you have a question?
Thank you, John, through the chair. Nicola, also that was a good phrase that you just used. So if just asking if we can send through any questions that we have on this after the workshop, is that okay if we think of things that we don't have time to discuss during this time?
Yes? Yeah.
Yeah, we can just email them through if we have any questions on this.
Yeah, absolutely, Councillor Woodward. But we'll come to it at the end. There's a two-part, and I think some of your questions might be related to what will come back in a second part too. So, yes.
Okay, thank you.
I wonder if I might be able to offer an example that would help. If you like, I can try. For instance, when we've got a multi-tenanted building and we get one rates bill for that building, it is billed on a pro rata basis based on the size of their premise. They pay because they've got more space. In this instance, you pay because you've got more value. So the invoice is the same, it's how it's distributed amongst those multiple tenants. Does that help at all?
No.
Okay.
Thank you, Councillor Cameron.
Trying.
Just
Okay.
be aware, I'm hearing a lot of conversation from that corner there. It's not been recorded, but at the start.
It's all positive stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree. I just wanted no surprises. Jeanette, sorry for interrupting.
So, in a week or so, we will be sending out the revaluations to the ratepayers, and when they receive them, they may not be happy with them. So they can object to their valuation, and they can either do that through our website or directly to our valuer, Optian. They've got to do that within 30 days from the date of the valuation notice. And the process, we've got details of the process on our website. Our valuer has to process all those objections in line with a time frame, which is 30 days.
Well,
Yeah.
They've got 30 working days. They have 30 working days, so that's more like 6 weeks to object. And then our valuers need to turn that around, and ideally we want those turned around before the 30th of June so that we get those correct values ready for the rates setting for 26.
Jeanette, just a query. Those rating valuations, they'll go out to the address as per the rates invoice. Like if they're emailed, they'll get emailed. If they go in the post, they go. I just asked that because I pay a lot of rates for different clients, and some come in the post and some get emailed. So that process will just continue as per.
Yes, that's correct. It would be great if your clients could opt in, and then they'll get an email. So in
Through
terms
the
of...
chair, can I just ask a question through the chair? What grounds do people have to object to their valuation?
They, when they object, they might think that it's been lowered too much in this case, so they'll go back and fill out either an online form or through the objection portal, and it will ask on the objection portal, what do you think your house's value is, and why do you think that? And then it'll be case by case, individual basis that the valuer will look at it.
So if a person objects and says that their valuation is too high and they wish to have it lowered, that will then lower their rates?
Only the general rate that's worked out on their valuation, probably minimal. Mm.
Just coming back to the pie. It's their portion of the pie, not necessarily their dollar value too. So.
So when will we know the exact impact of someone's rates on their property? So we're not going to know that until the revaluation objections have been processed and we know what the final values are for the entire district. We also haven't finalised the annual plan. We're working that at the moment based on the direction you gave us a couple of weeks ago. And we've got other things that we've got to consider, like the targeted rates and the UAGC and everything that all comes into the equation. So the capital value changes are varied by sector and individual ratepayers. So there's going to be a moderate impact likely on the general rates incident because there's swings and roundabouts throughout the whole district. So we'll come back to you in late May with a workshop talking about the modelling of the rates, so that you can look at that, and before we do the annual plan adoption at the end of June. So as I said before, we'll send out the issues late April, early May. There's a brochure that will go with it, which I'll give you a copy of here. There's also a dedicated page on our website that talks through a lot of the stuff that's on the brochure as well, I think, in the process. And that's where the portal is for objecting. And our team is available to help ratepayers with any questions and understanding of how rates work through our 0800 number and our info email address. So that's me. Happy to answer any other questions you may have.
I have one question, but it might be answered later on. I just wondered, what is the, and don't answer it if it will confuse everyone else. I just wanted to know what the percentages of the rates that actually sits for residential and not everything else. Do we know?
How big is that slice of the pie?
Yeah. Like what's the, like if we got the whole pie with all the rates included, how big is that slice that's just for residential? Because that's the one that everyone gets confused with.
It's obviously quite large because there's more, that's the highest proportion. I don't have that on me. I can possibly provide you, I can probably provide you what it was. So in our last annual plan, we would have probably mentioned it.
Oh, okay. I'll go back then and have a look.
Yeah.
Very big is the answer, Mahi. It is.
Well, Jeanette, maybe I've just got a question of...
So 63.7, about 2/3.
Jeanette, can I just clarify, and maybe a slightly leading question, what date is this information going to be up on our website? Is that later this week, or is it up there now?
We do have to change some information on our website, so it's not up there yet. We're just working through some information on that. It'll either be at the end of the week or at the start of next week, but before the notices go out.
So it's probably just a little plea, I guess, councillors, you found this presentation really helpful. It is a topic that our community gets quite confused on, and so if I could just make a request that maybe if you're wanting to put information out yourself, that you refer people back to our website and using the same information and the same messaging, because it's probably the topic that we get most people confused on every 3 years when this revalue goes out, and then they receive their rates bill and can't quite reconcile the two. So we have a big comms job ahead of us for this, as every council does.
Through the chair, I'm also very conscious that now that we've had a public workshop, that people will think their values are on the website now. Just want to be very clear, they are not there yet. The previous year is still there, but the new values are not yet on the website. So I can just see we'll get a surge in people looking and a surge in phone calls. So they're not there yet, they will be. We sort of have to time it so it's about the same time as we send the notices as well.
Thank you, Jeanette. Any further questions?
No, I just think that was really helpful, particularly just understanding the process around the valuations and that they are desktop, because quite a lot of people have said to me, well, how do you guys know? You don't come into my home to value my home, so how would you don't have a clue. So that for me was helpful in understanding that it's just a kind of a desktop thing.
And also, just to add to that, it's done independently. Like there are only, I think that's a really important distinction as well.
Yeah, through the chair, they did do roadside, they did come to Taupo and they did drive around the town and they talked to people, and like I said, real estate agents, developers, other valuers. So they did look at properties as well. They don't go inside them because they're basing their valuation on building consents and stuff that's lodged on a building consent, as well as the location and all that sort of thing.
So not every single individual property though?
No.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, the valuers use the sales in the district as well to, that's a really large portion of how they value properties. The sales that occurred in the particular areas on the 1st of September 2025. Yeah.
And another interesting fun fact is that, let's say for argument's sake, the revaluations are done and we're into the new rating regime, if you happen to build something in that time, the value is determined as at the date of the valuation, not the date that you built it or got CCC. So it might go right back 2 years ago, the valuation 2 years ago, even though you've only just built that building. That's another little fun fact I came across in my other career.
And I think, speaking on behalf of a real estate person who people are coming in all the time to list their property or to buy, and they do use our rating valuation as a bit of a guide for purchase prices and that, there is quite a lag between when the valuations are done. Market can go up, market can go down. So as much as they use the sales information of the day back in September, we might just find there's been a bit of a change in the market as well. So some people will sort of see quite a different price once these are released in May.
It's just a snapshot in time, really. It's a moment in time where everything's captured in order to be fair across the board.
Probably just one other point to note as well, that the revaluation notices are going out about the same time as the fourth instalment rates, and one of the questions we often get is, why hasn't my instalment got the new value on it? It doesn't apply to the fourth instalment, it applies for the rating year beginning the 1st of July 2026. So the rates for next year are calculated based on on these valuations. The rates for this year have already been calculated and they're just divided by 4. And that's, so fourth instalment is based on the valuation from 2022, just the same as all the other instalment notices.
Any further questions of Jeanette? Jeanette?
No, she was really strong. That's all I've got right now.
Thank you for that.
Just going to offer, I guess, if there's a bit of confusion still around the room and you walk away and you want a deeper dive, then we can do that. We've been I think collectively, I don't know how many years of local government around the table, but happy to do that if anyone wants to do another round of
Jeanette, we have probably got a couple of minutes, so, Nahoya, did you got a question?
Did you tell I was just going to say, I wouldn't want to put everyone else through, you know, because quite clearly, some of us may need more assistance than others. So, but appreciate that, Julie. I'll just I'll cling on to Kylie and Rachel, and then I'll see how I think next week. I might be all right next week.
Jeanette, I'm just wondering what other questions do we get hit with when the rates go out and the changes like this that we need to be briefed on, because the general rate is pretty straightforward. It's all the other bits and pieces. Or do people not worry too much about that? Just look at the bottom number.
I think the biggest couple of things will be, like Jeanette's already touched on, that people will think this fourth instalment will be affected by their new valuations, and it won't be. And also residential, the valuations have gone down. People will think that they're going to be paying less rates, and that's not the case. Yeah.
May not be the case.
Well, it is if it's gone down compared to everyone around them. They would pay a little less.
No, they,
Yeah, compared to...
compared to last year.
Yeah.
No, because the rates are going up.
We've got a certain amount of money that we need to collect.
Yeah, I realise that, but an individual, say for example their house got destroyed with fire, as a worst case example, they would pay less.
Yes, they would, and so we do have particular ones of those in the district, and one was just down the road from me. So I've made sure that that property has been valued at land value only. So yes, their property value definitely went down when the house burnt down, but the value of the land has also been affected by the revaluation as well. So yes, their rates will go down because their values probably drop 50 to 60%.
But the cape size still stays the same.
Yeah.
Can I just take up the offer of another, and I don't expect everybody, but if I could ask for maybe half an hour of your time at some point to test my assumptions, just to make sure that if I'm feeding this back to somebody, I'm doing the right explanation. I don't want to cause you guys more grief because I do get asked this a lot, and what I'm hearing is slightly different around the table, so I just want to make sure I'm putting the right message out there when I'm talking about rates.
Can I suggest I'm just having a little conversation? I think what we have done in these kind of circumstances before is arrange a drop-in session for councillors, and perhaps that's a way forward that we do that, and those that want to come along to have a kōrero can do that.
Do we have atarangi sticks in the... Can we bring those along to the session? Thank you.
Okay. Everyone finished, or we got more questions? So we need to move on to the long-term plan. If you're all satisfied, bearing in mind that will be a drop-in session coming up. So thank you very much, ladies.